Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another Fright Night Friday Blu-ray update. Now, all you fellow collectors out there will know about the panic one feels when one hears that something is about to go out of print. And you really want it for your collection. You've been waffling on it for ages, but you haven't picked it up yet. It's like, oh my god, FOMO, as it's called. Fear of missing out. I think we've all been there at some point. Now, Scream Factory, which, as you know, is a label I buy a lot of titles from, actually helps to accentuate this fear because they have a special section on their website of titles that are imminently going out of print. So, get them now while you can, or they'll be gone forever. Or, hey, you can probably get them from a scalper for about 10 times the normal price, but who wants to do that? The nice thing is, though, when they do list imminently going out of print titles, they often put them on discount, so you can get them a little bit cheaper. So, recently, I perused some of the going out of print soon titles, and grabbed a bunch of them, and some of them were actually really cheap, so I was like, okay, that's cheap enough to be an impulse buy. Like, I think one of them was like $5 or something. I was like, yeah, $5. I mean, even if I hate it, who cares? That's like the price of a rental. So, cool. Anyway, out of print gems, mostly from Scream Factory. There's one other that I kind of bought as a bit of self-indulgence as a collector. I'll explain when we get to that one. Anyway, out of print gems today on Fright Night Friday on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Okay, so starting off, I have kind of a bit of a sci-fi action thriller here that I remember seeing the ads for this when this came out, and I really wanted to check it out because I like the main actress in it. She's been in some other things that I really liked. And actually, I like the main actor, too. He's pretty cool. I've seen him in a lot of stuff I like, too. I'm talking about Eve of Destruction with Gregory Hines and Renee Sutenjic. Now, Renee Sutenjic, I remember from, in particular, from a movie that Paul Verhoeven did. Paul Verhoeven, of course, was the director of RoboCop, Starship Troopers, and Showgirls. Anyway, Renee Sutenjic was in one of his last Dutch films before he moved over to Hollywood. One called The Fourth Man, which honestly really needs a Blu-ray release. It's such a good movie. It's kind of a prototype Basic Instinct. He did Basic Instinct as well. You may have heard of that one. Anyway, it was a very similar kind of concept to Basic Instinct, and she starred in it as the woman who may or may not have killed a bunch of people. It was really good stuff. Anyway, in this one, she plays a cyborg killer gone out of control, and Gregory Hines is the cop that has to track her down and stop her. I haven't seen this before, so I'm just kind of going by what I've read about it. But, it looked like a lot of fun. I picked it up partly because it's going out of print, but also because it seemed like it was kind of in the same genre as things like The Terminator and I Come in Peace, which is one I really enjoyed, and stuff like that. So I thought, yeah, that looks like fun. I'll grab that. I like the actors in it. Sold. And it was going out of print, so definitely wanted to grab it soon. So let's just take a quick peek at what's on it. So here we go. Good old Scream Factory. And looks like it's just bare bones for this one. Let's crack it open, see what's inside. Reversible cover. Check that out. Just spin that around. There we go. Nice disc art there. Let's just slide the cover out so you can get a cleaner look at it. There you go. Kind of a cool cover. So I guess there was a couple of different movie posters for this one. That one's not bad. Looks like, is it painted? I think it's painted. It's hard to tell sometimes. Some paintings are so darn good you can't tell if it's a photograph or not. But I actually kind of like this artwork better, so I just keep it with that one. So we'll just slide that back in there. There we go. Yeah, so kind of a whole lot of nothing. Basically just the movie, but that's okay. Nice to have it in the collection. Looking forward to checking it out. Next up, this is the one that I got for, I think, $5, and it just sounded like kind of a cool little twist on a revenge flick. We have Demented. Yeah, so the idea here is kind of similar to the genre that I Spit on Your Grave started. Basically, this woman is attacked and violated and then institutionalized because she's so traumatized by it. And as she's institutionalized, the men who attacked her are brought to justice and put in jail. So she gets out of the mental institution and and she wants revenge. But of course, the men who attacked her have already been dealt with, but she just can't accept that, I guess, and starts to see the men who attacked her all over the place, so she starts attacking people and just kind of goes nuts. And it's kind of takes the whole idea of a revenge flick and turns it on its ear. It's like she wants revenge, but the people she wants revenge against aren't there to have revenge against them. So she just kind of goes nuts and starts killing all these other people. So it just sounded like a really kind of just crazy twist on the revenge flick. So I thought, yeah, for $5 I'll check that out. So let's take a little peek at the packaging and the disc art and all that good stuff. Here we have Demented. Yep, she definitely looks demented. Nice on the spine there. There we go. Some horrible things happening to people. Yeah, I couldn't believe how cheap this one was. So, there we go. So, looking forward to checking that out. Let's just get a better look at the picture here. So, I guess this is just a still from the movie. It is nice that even when it's something like this, it's a little bit on the obscure side, they still find something to put on the back of the cover. That's one thing I do like about Scream Factory releases, is if they don't have fully reversible covers, they at least give you some artwork or stills from the movie or what have you on the inside. So that's always a nice consideration. A little more collector-y, you know. And there you go. So once again, doesn't appear to be much on it, but definitely looking forward to checking that out. It sounds like a potentially fun one. Next up, I vaguely remember seeing ads for this one when it was originally out. I was, of course, far too young to see it at the time. That seems to be a lot of my childhood, was seeing ads for horror movies and, you know, newspaper ads and drive-in ads and things like that. And just kind of having those little bits of marketing set my imagination going as to what these movies were, and freaking myself out. Probably whatever I'm thinking in my 7-8-year-old brain was far scarier than whatever was actually in the movies. But anyway, this was one of them, and I remember seeing some ads for it, and it just kind of freaked me out, and I don't think I ever actually saw the movie. But I saw that the Blu-ray was going out of print, and you know, it was going for a pretty reasonable price at the time, so I just thought, yeah, cool, I'll check that out. And it kind of ties in with the werewolf theme of this Halloween. It's not really a werewolf movie, but it's kind of werewolf-ish. Anyway, it's The Beast Within. Yeah. So this one I know is a bit of a cult favorite. I've heard some good things about it over the years. And, you know, mostly I just kind of cling to those childhood memories of being terrified by the marketing campaign. So definitely looking forward to checking this one out and facing those childhood fears. Well, not really. Didn't really traumatize me or anything, but it's one I've always been curious about, so I'm glad to have it in the collection and finally be able to check it out. Speaking of which, let's check out the packaging, see what's on this one, and all that good stuff. There we go. This motion picture contains scenes of graphic violence and violent horror. It's almost like saying violent violence. So much violence. Stop the violence. All right. So it gets some violence with our violence. Sorry, I'm kind of fixating on that. Anyway, we do have some nice special features on this one, which is pretty cool. Don't always get those with the standalone releases like this, but in this case, we do. So we got that guy there. So almost looks like Teen Wolf there. But anyway, so if we pop it out, okay, so we got a reversible cover here. So we got that. Yeah, that actually does kind of make it look like Teen Wolf, doesn't it? Well, it definitely isn't, because this motion picture contains scenes of graphic violence and violent violence, horror of violence. So, yeah, there you go. And, yeah, I like to go with that one because it's just a little more, I don't know, a little more surreal. Not quite sure what's going on, but it looks pretty violent. Holy moly, the violence. Yeah, anyway. That's The Beast Within. So there you go. I know, amazing, right? It actually has extras for a change. Yeah, you know, the ones that are non-collector's editions from Scream Factory tend to be kind of a mixed bag. Some of them are just bare bones. Some of them have, you know, the theatrical trailer. Some of them have piles of extras. Honestly, some of the standalone, like non-collector's edition ones, have enough extras on them. They could have just done them as collector's editions. Like, just throw a slipcover on it and call it a collector's edition. You got tons of stuff on there, you know. I mean, this one doesn't have a ton of stuff. A couple commentaries on the trailer, but so maybe not this one. But there are other ones that have quite a wealth of extras and could easily be collector's editions. So next up, this is one that I think I'd heard the name mentioned here and there. It's kind of notable in that it hasn't really had much in the way of home video releases over the years. There might have been a VHS release at some point, but this is the first time it's ever been on disc, and certainly the first time it's ever been in high definition. Very rare, very kind of a holy grail film, I think, for a lot of collectors. We have Blood and Lace from, when is this from? 1971. So I would have been -1 years old. But yeah, basically, you know, it's kind of a proto-slasher in a way. Supposed to be pretty good. It was going out of print, so I thought, why not? Let's check it out. Sounds good. And also, it has the guy who plays Uncle Leo in in Seinfeld in it as well. Vic Tayback. So I was like, Uncle Leo in a proto-slasher? Yeah, I definitely got to check that one out. So anyway, I've heard kind of mixed reviews of it from some of my friends, but I don't know, whatever. I'm pretty forgiving when it comes to you know, early 70s low-budget horror movies, and this sounded like a pretty fun one from what I could tell. So let's take a quick peek at the packaging here. And with Blood and Lace, we of course have shock after shock after shock after shock after shock after shock. Okay. As desire drives a bargain with death. That's actually a pretty cool cover, I have to say. I like the you know, graphic painted covers. So we do have some nice special features here. Doesn't look like anything from anyone who actually was involved in the making of the movie, but we do actually have at least a film historian commentary, and we have both have the movie on both Blu-ray and DVD. And it looks like we have a reversible cover. Let's just take a peek here. So there we go. So very similar, sort of a different layout of the same artwork. Oh no, different female victim artwork there. So very cool. There's actually, I kind of like both of those equally. I do like how this one has the hammer a little more front and center though. Like it's going to smash you, the viewer, right in the face if you're not careful. So watch it. You know, just like The Beast Within had all kinds of violence, this has shock after shock after shock after shock after shock after shock. So, very shocking. There you go. We got a few nice extras on there. And, you know, I do actually really like this cover art, this poster art. It's very nice, very intense. Good stuff. Gotta love 70s horror. Alright, last, but most certainly not least, this is the one I mentioned at the beginning. Was a little bit of self-indulgence on my part. This is one that I used to own and foolishly sold and meant to get again, but never did because it went out of print and was going for ridiculous sums of money. Until recently, because Scream Factory actually put out a collector's edition of this, which I talked about in an update a little while ago. And I picked it up, and I thought, you know, I wonder if the old edition that I had has been maybe devalued now because the Scream Factory edition is out. Now, the thing is, I'm a bit of a whore for extras, and there was a few extras that were on the edition I used to have that didn't make it over to the Scream Factory edition. On top of that, the cut of the film, they both have the uncut version of the film, but the Scream Factory edition is all fully restored and looks very beautiful. The old release, however, had all of the violent footage cut back in, but not restored. So anytime there was like a death scene, it would go all grindhousey and stuff. And I always thought that there was kind of a charm to that. So I kind of wanted to have that version of the movie again. So I looked it up, and sure enough, the old edition that I used to have, which a few months prior was going for $100, $200, was now about 20 bucks. I'm of course talking about the Canadian slasher classic, My Bloody Valentine. Yeah, so this is the special edition that I used to have. I now have it again. So very cool. I got got all the extras, got the grindhousey cut. Yeah, like I say, this was a bit of self-indulgence. I didn't really need to have this because I have, quite frankly, the superior edition with the Scream Factory version. But I wanted this because, I don't know, it's just one of those stupid collector brain things where it's like I've been kicking myself for so long for selling it. I just wanted to have it back in the collection to spite the stupid decision I made in the past. Plus the other two reasons I mentioned. There is one or two extras on here that didn't make it over. And there's also, you know, it's what I like to call the grindhouse cut. Let's just take a quick peek here. For those of you who may not have seen me talk about this many, many years ago. I don't know how close we looked at the package then anyway. So let's take a peek. And here we go. The My Bloody Valentine Special Edition. Finally back in the collection. Very nice indeed. Yeah, I think there's a couple of featurettes here that didn't actually make it over to the Scream Factory edition, so it is nice to have. Yeah, nothing to speak of inside. Yeah. The Scream Factory edition is definitely nicer in terms of presenting a couple of different cuts of the movie and having all the kill scenes, of course, that have been reincorporated, actually remastered to match the rest of the footage. But it is nice to have this one as well. I think I mentioned for like the sort of grindhousey look of the kill scenes, and then to have the featurettes that didn't get ported over. So very nice indeed. And there you go. So very nice to have this back in the collection after foolishly selling it all those many years ago. Yeah, always watch what you decide to sell, because sometimes it may not be as easy to reacquire later as you think. Especially with genre stuff. Holy crap, have I learned that the hard way. So, to sum up, we got Eve of Destruction, Demented, The Beast Within, Blood and Lace, and the version of My Bloody Valentine that I foolishly sold many years ago. There we go. So, pretty good mix of stuff, out-of-print gems. Now, as always, I will put Amazon links in the description on the off chance you can get a deal on one of these, or all of these from third-party sellers, or sometimes Amazon surprises you and gets them back in stock. Like, oh, we forgot to open this box and it's full of 80 copies of Eve of Destruction. Who knew? You never know. I've seen that happen before. But anyway, so I'll put Amazon links in the description if you'd like to try your luck at getting some of these for your collection. And as always, thank you very much for your support. Those Amazon links very directly support the show and everything that I do. So thank you very much for that. And thank you for watching. And big thanks to my Patreon sponsors. Be sure to catch me on Twitch every day. Or I stream just about every day. I might not be there every day. I usually have reruns when I'm not streaming. So enjoy reruns if I'm not streaming. And I'll see you next time. Until then, sayonara.